my piece in this video today, and I am wearing my AC/DC hoodie. Woo! Anyway, anyway, today is about Creepypasta. Most of my stuff is about Creepypasta. Actually, I'm just gonna be reading my Creepypasta stories. They are that I've written in class. Oh, and by the way, I did finish Stitch. I finished drawing her, and I finished. Her name is just Stitch, and her best friend, Scarlet the Nightmare. I also drew her too, and I don't think I mentioned her in my other videos, but I will not show them until I finish their stories. I will not show them, and the reason for that is I don't want to show something that doesn't have their backstory. I mean, yeah, they look cool and all, and you know, I'd like to show them, but I don't want to show them until I have their stories finished. And if you have a Meow, you've probably already saw them. So yeah, I did give a sneak peek to some people on Meow, actually, all the people who decided to look at it. So yeah, let's get started. Oh, and I will get to why I'm not sharing that I'm really excited, but I am, and I will tell you the story later after I finish reading the stories. Anyway, so basically, Mrs. Cox gave us a sentence, and it's called a sentence starter, and we had to write a story from it. I didn't finish the story, but I left a few pages open so I could finish it, but I'm probably not going to. Okay. So yeah, I just named it Rough Giraffe. Don't know why I named it that. Okay, anyways, it all began on Halloween. Tessa was walking with her best friend Ashley through the woods. They just got done trick-or-treating, though it was through 6 different neighborhoods. They got near Tessa's favorite tree and sat down. What a bunch of jerks. Just because we're 17 does not mean we can go and get free candy, Ashley complained. I know, but at least we get to any at all, Tessa replied. Suddenly there was a rustling noise. Tessa whipped around to see who was there, but no one was there. She turned to face Ashley, who was struggling against a blue-masked man's hand. Tessa went to scream for help, but she remembered she had pepper spray. Tessa thought, what good would that do? He's wearing a mask with a black substance dripping from his eye holes. The man quickly let go of Ashley and stuttered, I didn't mean to scare you. I'm sorry. I'm Eyeless Jack. Nice to meet you. Tessa thought frantically, Eyeless? She must have said it out loud because he nodded. I came to get you guys kidneys, but I just couldn't. EJ, short for Eyeless Jack, sat down and asked what they were doing, and what bothered Tessa was how casually he said it, as if he wasn't coming to kill them for their kidneys. We're trading our candy we got, Ashley replied. Here. Tessa said, handing EJ a blue Jolly Rancher. It tastes good, I promise. EJ took the candy hesitantly and examined it. He unwrapped it slowly and lifted up his mask a little, though enough to see his 2 rows of small sharp fangs and dark gray skin. He put the candy in his mouth and looked up at Tessa. Thanks, Tessa. I really appreciate it. Tessa smiled. Welcome, EJ. Ashley, it's 9 p.m. We gotta go home. Ashley looked at EJ, then back at Tessa with puppy dog eyes. Tessa thought, heck no. We are not going to take this weirdo back to your house. Ashley's eyes got bigger. Tessa sighed and nodded in agreement. When Tessa, Ashley, and EJ got to the house, EJ walked up to the front door and held it open for Tessa and Ashley. They thanked him. EJ asked if he could use the bathroom, and Tessa said yes. The rest of that story, that's where it ends. So you can basically make whatever ending you want to. It don't matter. I was going to have them meet Ben. Ben was going to come out, and yeah, they would all become friends. But yeah, but I didn't write that, and I just kind of like stopped writing it. I don't know why. I just didn't want to write it anymore. Anyway, and then now here's my other one. I just named it Rough Draft. Most of the time I do. I don't really spend time making a name. Anyway, so this one was about, this was a writing prompt we had to do. We had to write a narrative, like a fictional type narrative, but it was like, if we had to choose from, if shoes could talk, what would they say, or something like that. And then if you woke up with wings one morning, or someone woke up with wings one morning, what would they do, or something like that. So I made this one mainly about Jeff, Sally, and Jack. Okay, so Sally snuggled into her blankets more and trying to get away from the sunlight seeping through the windows. Well, I guess it's time to get up. Sally yawned and jumped out of bed. She walked in the bathroom to brush her teeth. She turned on the sink and wet her toothbrush and applied toothpaste. She started humming as she brushed her teeth. Sally looked into the mirror and saw white tips of 2 wings. Sally screamed and tried to reach the wings, but she couldn't get to them. Her screaming settled down, but she thought of something. Oh, when did the wings appear? I never felt them protrude from my back. Jeff and Jack burst into Sally's room. Sally, what's wrong? What the heck? Jeff paused mid-sentence. Jeff had clearly noticed her wings, and he wasn't happy. Sally, why do you have those? Sally timidly responded, I don't know. They just sort of appeared. Sound like I was joking. Anyway, Jeff sighed, let's just cut them off. They're going to be a hassle, and you don't want them. Sally was all aboard with the idea. Sally didn't know how to put the wings back in, so she walked around with them out all day. Sally sighed, how did I even get these? Why? Jack walked into the living room and saw Sally pacing. You know, you could always fly back and forth. Sally could tell Jack was trying to get her to smile, but it wasn't working. Sally, you know that these wings were given to you for a reason, to help others. I know you like helping others, so why don't you use those wings to your advantage? Sally thought about this for a while. I guess, but I need to learn how to use them. Jack nodded and walked outside of their cabin. Sally followed. Jack taught her how to use them in a matter of minutes. Soon the next day, Sally was delivering things to Mr. S, Masky, Hoodie, Larzy, and all of their neighbors. She was lifting things for them and getting things for them that they couldn't reach. Maybe this isn't a bad thing at all. Sally smiled as she thought of this. Sally arrived home late again another night. Jeff stood up and paused Jack in his video game. Sally, why are you always late? I'm tired of having to wait hours for you to get home. Sally looked at Jeff with sad eyes. I'm sorry. I know, Jeff, and I'm sorry. Jeff was angry with Sally, and he knew it was those blasted wings. They were getting rid of those wings. Sally looked at Jeff in shock. No, we're not. Jeff looked at the wings, then at Sally, and sat back down by Jack. Yes, we are, Sally. I'm sorry, but you don't need them. Sally didn't walk away. She stood her ground. Jeff, these are my wings, so it's my decision. I'll try and not be out as late, and I'll try and help you out too, but I'm not getting rid of them. Jeff was shocked that Sally had done that, but she did have a point. Jeff sighed. Fine, Sally, but you better keep to your word. Sally ran and hugged Jeff. Thank you, and thank you, Jeff. You won't regret it. Sally ended up being a winged helper. She goes around the neighborhood and helps everyone who needs it. I know, it's a little odd, but because Sally and Jeff and Jack are killers, and then she's out here helping people. But whatever. Anyway, and this one. Okay, so this story right here is my favorite so far out of all my stories I've ever written. I know it's kind of a little but you know what? It is my favorite. And actually today, my teacher, Mrs. Cox, she was she's gonna have us partnered up, and we're gonna have like a writing conference, and we get the writing a Rubik and whatnot, a Rubik, whatever it's called, and so she had me demonstrate. So she read mine to herself, and then she read it out to the class, but she only scores 2 pages. So that's what we have to do. We have to only score the first 2 pages, and yeah, so my writing a Rubik, and we get a total of 36 points that we could get, and they have categories like 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, 6 points, and then this is the things, and mine's convention, sentence fluency, word choice, voice, organization, and focus in the idea. And as you can see, I've gotten 4 6 points and 2 5 points. 6 points on my conventions, 5 points on my sentence fluency, 6 on my word choice, 5 on my voice. Voice is where you you authentically showing your characters, like you're showing who they are and like describing them in a good detail. And she put the little star next to it because she was getting confused between the two here, like which one she was kind of struggling with, which ones that she which one should she choose. So she put a star next to it. And then I got a 6 on my organization and 6 on my focus and slash ideas. So out of all that, I got 34 points out of 36, and that is really good, I think. And I think that would be like an A minus, but I'm not sure. But yeah, she said it was a little morbid, but you know. And I was laughing the whole time she was reading. She was like, what? She read it. I was like, anyway, so I'm gonna get reading it, and I'm gonna read the whole thing, not just the 2 pages. Anyway, so yeah. 2 years ago, I said I would have the money by tomorrow. Jeff, Stitch's father, explained. Yeah? Well, I wanted it today. Jeff shoved her father to the wall. Now give me the money or die. The father only shook his head. Jeff stabbed him in the chest. Jeff walked over to his victim's wife. Are you going to give me the money? She also shook her head. Fine. He stabbed her too. Teen's girls were widened with fear as she tried to bury herself within the small dark closet. She will always remember that face, pale like a vampire's, non-blinking eyes, long black hair, and that smile. One cut so deep in it could never heal. He, the boy named Jeff, could never be normal. I said leave me alone, EJ. Stitch yelled. Come on, I just want to show you my special tree. EJ yelled back, fine. Stitch and EJ walked side by side. He kept pointing out little notes that were tacked to the trees. Who would waste their time doing that? Stitch freezed when she... Freezed? I said freezed and it's supposed to be froze. Stitch freezed when she saw the long black hair and pale hands. Then he spoke. Thanks, EJ, but it took you a while to find her, don't you think? Sorry, EJ mumbled as he left Stitch's side and walked to Jeff's. Stitch's mouth dropped open in surprise. EJ, what are you doing? That's the same boy I told you about, the one that killed my parents. EJ was taking a while to respond, no doubt trying to find an easy way to break the news to her. Oh, well, you see, Jeff, he's my friend. What? Stitch yelled. I can't believe you. I told you very personal things about that no one else knows. And you know how much I hate him, and yet you're friends with him? EJ sighed. I've always been friends with him. Stitch looked down. Oh, that's all she said. Well, I'm going to stop it right there because I only have 20 seconds before YouTube says I cannot upload this video. So, love, Allie, peace out, and I'm going to make another video, so see you in my next one.